apartment, so
You are an animal.
yes, I.
Yeah. Where to go? There we go. And welcome to another exciting episode of The Energy That Surrounds Us. I'm your host, Michael, joined by my awesome and amazing co host, Carla.
Hey, everyone.
Tonight we have as you can see, a special crowd with us. We have the Bump in the Night Society Paranormal team.
Yay!
So we're going to let you guys go one by one and introduce yourselves.
All right, you go first, Phill.
All right, I am Phil K. I've been a part of the Bump in the Night Society crew for about 3 years now since our start. Yeah, I am one of the investigators slash the mascot, and I also help to co-host a podcast with Sean Bowman. Who's next?
I'm Mikey Bowser. I also was part of the group since the inception. One of the lead investigators. Kind of handle the editing of the documentaries and just kind of being a jag here and there. So it's my duties.
Hello, I am Troy Baumgartner. I'm the newest
Such
member.
an awkward intro.
Yes, hello. I'm the newest member of the group. I'm the quirky oddball, I think. I'm also the oldest, so I'm old.
But you're looking good, Troy. You're looking good,
man.
Grandpa of the group, and when Phill is the mascot, I lead him around. So
there's Wrangler.
There's
doing God's work.
Yes, that's Wrangler.
Sean Bowman, lead investigator, Bump of the Night Society owner, Bump of the Night Society. We've been around for about 3 years. Before that, me and Mikey were part of another group. Doing this for years, doing this with my wife beforehand, who's also part of the group, Jennifer Bowman. And we have a total of 7 members, April and Hannah, but they can't make it tonight either. All the guys are here tonight.
Yep.
Woo! Pickle Boyz.
Guys night.
Yeah.
So, Troy, I gotta ask, how does it feel being the newest member and the oldest member all in one?
Well, it can get confusing at times. It's not too bad. I've known Sean and Phill for quite a while. We worked at Scare House together, so I've known them for a few years now. Everybody else just kind of fit in place. So I mean, I feel pretty welcomed, even though I'm newer. They don't harass me too bad. Yeah, not too bad.
Just don't ask him to book anything.
Yeah. I wouldn't trust myself either.
Troy seemed to dwindle on that last statement. His voice just started going softer and softer.
So we were at Conneaut Psychic Fair, and I got scammed. So I had paid for us a table, a booth, and everything, and we did not pay for one. So it was very confusing because they were talking to me the same time that the person that was running the event was also talking to me, and like what they were saying was corresponding, which made it really confusing, but it was 2 separate things. So yeah, we were on a wait list, but we thought we had the booth. So we fortunately got to work out to where we did actually get to be there. So it was great that we, she went over her way to help us out. But unfortunately we lost like $50, but could have been worse.
Could have been more. Yeah.
Exactly.
So that's where the old comes in. I got, I mean, it wasn't Publishers Clearinghouse, but close enough,
Did you send money to a Nigerian prince that claimed to be irrelevant?
Honestly, I think it was. It was my relative.
That's funny.
So now I'm and I was so excited because it was like my first one that I had like got us booked for, and I'm trying to contribute, doing my part for the team, and yeah.
I felt bad for you. I mean, I'm jagging with you right now, obviously.
I know.
So, those types of things just happen,
It did. That's okay.
Yeah.
Who would have thought that you would scam a freaking psychic fair? I mean, come on, of all things. I should have seen that coming, darn it.
I know, I was just gonna say that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you're at a psychic fair. You think you would have had the pre-recognition that you were going to be scammed.
I needed to be like, okay, guys, why didn't you tell me this was gonna happen?
I love you, Troy.
Save me $50.
Jennifer, hey.
Jen saying hi from upstairs, Sean.
Yeah, I'm telling her to come on.
Come on down.
Oh, that's the famous Jen that does all the TikToks.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
She's a diva.
I tried to make a TikTok account, and I had one video that I made, and I was like, I don't know what the heck I'm doing, so I just deleted my account.
Yeah.
I had no idea what I was doing. I was like, yeah, this ain't for me.
Actually, Jen's inspired me to actually do the ones I've done.
Don't fall into the dark side, man.
I have. Jen's pulled me in slowly but surely. She's getting me there.
No, that's awesome.
So Troy, since you're the one being vocal right now, I wanted to ask you in the bio, you
Yes.
say you saw an angel that didn't have a face.
I did. So I want to say I was probably like 6 years old.
Or was that the first time you met me?
Yeah, man, that was one hell of a
long
road trip,
time
Troy.
ago. No, I did, and I was in my bedroom. We lived in kind of a modular where you have the hallway with the bedrooms, kind of the scenario, and I saw the glowing in the hallway, and it just got brighter and brighter from my bedroom door, and it came into my doorway. You could definitely see the wings. And you could see the oval for the head, but that was about it. And you could see the dress coming down. And it resembled an angel, perfect to the T. And it scared me, but it didn't scare me. But I have always felt like it was my great grandma. Like I always felt like that was the guardian angel. It was my great grandma. It was very warming, but it scared me at the time. I was a kid. But like even looking back, it's more of a comforting thing that I remember now. So that was my very first experience of anything outside of the norm that I would say paranormal. Yeah,
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it was. It really was. That's always stuck in my mind that first time I saw that.
Yeah, I gotta say, writing the bios for you all, I was like, as I'm writing what experiences you each had, I was like, oh my God, we so totally glad we're having this team on our show because your guys' experiences are so vastly different that it's like so cool that you're all on the same team.
Yes.
Thank you so much, man.
Yeah, I think we have a very diverse team, but with personalities too, which sometimes can conflict from time to time. But yeah, it is a good perfect mix.
Yeah, it's definitely it's good just to have like different perspectives on things too.
Oh, for sure.
Oh heck yeah.
That's how you learn.
Absolutely. Yeah. Regardless if it's like theological or what have you. It's nice.
Well, it's also nice because we all do have very different backgrounds and different thoughts and experiences, and even if like we're all open to each other's perceptions of things. So one of us may kind of believe things in a differently than another person, but we don't judge each other for that. We're very open about that, and it's kind of neat just to hear the different stories. We have April who has some senses, and she sees a lot of things, and she'll tell us her experiences, and it's interesting just to hear those stories and how they correspond with the feelings that we have and experiences that we have along the way. So it's it's pretty cool.
It's excellent. Jeez.
Oh heck yeah. And I, even just to add on to that, especially with a lot of the members of other teams that we've encountered, I don't have any sensitivities as other members do in other teams, but doesn't mean I'm not going to experience things. Yeah. Right. That's a funny thing too, how you mentioned that, because like, I'm, I always go into just a location where like, okay, well, this is just me being me, I don't feel off or anything like that, but I used to get very timid about certain locations. You could even ask Sean and Mikey that. But it's a lot more it doesn't happen as much anymore though, because you walk into a place that is haunted, you're basically a guest in another entity's home.
Exactly.
And they can come out and do something if you want them to or not, and it's like, well, this is what I asked for, so why bother being freaked out over something like
That's
that?
Right.
But then, of course, if you're naturally jumpy, which I'm very naturally jumpy, doesn't mean it's just like, if you go into a place knowing what you're getting yourself into, then you'll be fine. Just go in respectful and be like, well, if it happens, it happens. If something doesn't happen, then that's quite all right. I had a really fun time here, you know?
That's why I don't really watch too many of the shows, because I feel like if you're going in seeking the paranormal, you shouldn't freak out when the paranormal comes.
Exactly.
And they're always like, "Oh my god!" Like, I won't say what show it was, but there was a show where I think they're in Kentucky, and they were investigating no, it's not them. It's a different one. They were investigating an old distillery. And they mentioned during the tour that there's bobcats around. So if you encounter a bobcat, be careful and be mindful. And right before a commercial break, they're using infrared goggles, and they're like, "Oh my God, there's a cat! There's a cat!" And then it cuts the commercial, and then they come back, and it's a house cat. And I'm like, "Oh, come on!" I immediately turned it off.
That kind of reminds me of that meme that goes around of the cat looking in the puddle and see the lion.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously, there's extraordinary things that can happen that can freak you out, and I get that. Like the time Phill probably is referring to when we were in the basement of Pickle Jar, and a woman got pushed. Yeah, a woman allegedly got pushed. I mean, we can't say whether or not she was. She was one of the workers there.
Yeah,
and we were doing a spirit box session. It kind of coincided with what was coming through the spirit box, and she fell backwards. And like you could kind of see in the video, it almost was like something tugged her hoodie. You can kind of see the hoodie go up a little bit, and she fell backwards into the corner of a table. Now it's pitch black, so the noise itself, like you're gonna freak out a little bit.
Oh, it scared the heck out of me. I was
like, it feels like I think that's a sign we need to get out of here. And I'm like, no, that's a sign we need to keep investigating. Let's get this going. I fired up the spirit box again, but
is she okay?
Oh, yeah, she was okay. But I mean, if it was faked, I will tell you that she should win an award for if she did fake it, because it went right.
She was committed.
Middle of the back, right into a corner of the table, and
she was a lot more calm when she actually got up. It's like I just got pulled. There was no like, "Oh my God, I gotta get out of here, guys." There was none of that. I'm like,
and they work at the place too, and a lot of them tell us that it's kind of normal to get encounters there.
We stuck around though, and that was probably the craziest thing that happened that whole night. So I'm happy that Mikey convinced me to.
Yeah, man, up, Phill.
Yeah, it worked out well though.
I was proud of you, dude.
I miss that place. I really do.
I know it did burn down a couple of months after we investigated, unfortunately.
But sadly,
coincidence,
right? Good things come to an end sometimes.
I gotta say, doing the bios though, Phill, yours really like made me laugh because you're like, "Oh yeah, I've been in paranormal for this long, and I do it with friends." And then your next statement is, "And I am all things horror."
He spelled horror wrong.
It's I'm a very I don't want to say this to be like pedestal based or anything, but I'm very like unique compared to a lot of people. Like I believe in the afterlife, heaven, hell. Raised as a Lutheran, yet I love like the dark side of like horror movies and all that. Like I've been a fan of that genre ever since I was a kid, and it doesn't shut off. Doesn't mean I'm weird. We all are, but I still
talk to dead folks. So.
Exactly. So it's just like I have so many. There's a lot of things that I like. Like I love heavy metal music. That's one of my main obsessions. Of course, horror films in general. That Sean and I and Troy as well. We all became friends working as actors in a haunted house, and then of course, I haven't lost my faith when it comes to like Christianity and all that too. So it's like, wait, you're that? I'm like, well, yeah. I mean, you don't look like it. Well, you don't have to look like it to be that. And I'm only going to let you know what I believe if you ask. But if you don't ask, you'll never know.
Right.
But so it's I probably would have chuckled too if I would have read that. It's like this guy, he believes in the afterlife.
I know, because like everyone's sharing their experience and going, yeah, this is the one event. Sean's event is I like horror.
And it's actually funny too, because like even as a kid, I didn't really have any. Like I never grew up in a haunted house or anything. Like a lot of my experiences happened further down the road. Like my previous team was Oakland Paranormal. I was about like 28 or something like that, and I was there for about a year or so. Then it kind of fell off. Sometimes you just lose interest in certain things. But then fast forward to working at the warehouse and Troy and myself work at, and then the foreshadowing of Sean posting a comment about going to the Anchorage mansion that sparked my interest again. I was like, oh, that's actually kind of cool. And he's like, yeah, when I come along, I'm like, heck yeah, why not? So part of the I don't want to say obsession, the heavy interest in wanting to get back out there and do it again, doing it again. So it was really cool.
Yeah. And then there was Sean's full body apparition in a trench coat.
Oh.
That was a cool detail I thought you added.
Well, that's the thing too, is like when I was a kid, I was young, probably, I don't know, 5 or 6, but my brother's 6 years older than me. And we both saw it, and he still remembers it to this day too. And we were in our dining room building with these little mini bricks. And the way my house was set up is like there was a living room, dining room, little corridor in front of where the basement door is, and it goes into the kitchen. And we saw it right in the little corridor. And we told my dad, he looked around the house, didn't see anything. And another thing is years down the line, when I was an adult, I had a psychic, and the psychic told me there was something in my basement. So it was happened right in front of that door of the basement. I lived there for 25 years. There was it's nothing like how it is in the movies or even a lot of these locations. Like, stuff wasn't happening every day, but out of those 25 years, I've probably seen like 5 to 10 things. So,
yeah. So did you get a feeling like it was like from the Old West, kind of why it was in a trench coat? Or
I don't think it had anything to do with the Old West. The thing is, though, the house that I lived in was the oldest house on the street. It used to be like a farmhouse or whatever back in the day. Like, we had the pocket doors in there, and we even had like a door from where the kitchen was. There was like a swinging door. I don't know if it was like a servant's door or what it was, but it was like a door that could go directly into the kitchen too. So it was an old house.
Yeah. And then there was Mikey's. Yours was going to be last, Mikey.
I actually don't even remember what was in the bio. Which story was it?
Your bio said, and I'll even read it out because it's so funny. He goes, my first paranormal experience was at 17 when witnessing a friend become possessed during a summoning ritual.
Yeah, actually, Frater, who you just pulled
yeah,
up.
he just commented.
Him and I and another gentleman, we were in a hardcore band. I was actually 19.
We were all part of the same group too. That was the group that me and Mikey were with beforehand.
And I was actually 19. I think Sean may have given you a typo there, but
I didn't type that out. You wrote that out. Thanks for the spotlight and paranormal. Yeah.
but yeah, so one of our band members was into the occult, and we were in a hardcore band, and he said, you guys want to try this summoning ritual? And I didn't believe in any of it. I didn't really have any paranormal experiences prior to, so I was like, dude, we're in a hardcore band, yeah, let's do it. So we went to a place that is extremely active. It's a cemetery that in the center of the cemetery there's a tree, and they say that underneath the tree is a portal. And so I didn't know that, so I parked under the tree. And we ended up doing a summoning ritual. I'll spare you the details on that, but it worked. And what we heard was a roar that started in the front of the cemetery. This place is pretty big, and it went the whole way around us, and it was a single roar. It wasn't like multiple entities roaring. It was just a single roar. And yeah, we kind of lost track of time. Long story short, we lost one of our bandmates and couldn't find him for a good half hour, just kind of stumbling around the cemetery. So we went back to my car, and we could see his silhouette in the back seat. And yeah, we went up to him, opened the door. We're like, hey, what are you doing, man? What's up? And he's not responding. So we kind of pulled him out a little bit, and we could see his eyes, his pupils were dilated. And we pulled him out of the car completely. We're like shaking him. He's not responding. His pupils are just dilated. And then eventually the other gentleman smacked him in the face. and he kind of came to, and he's like, "We need to get the F out of here right now. We need to get out of here now." And yeah, we got out. It was pretty wild. And then I wasn't there, but the gentleman that we were talking about actually went back several times, and one of the other times the same thing happened with a girl. She was lost for a while. They went to where the tree was. She was staring up into the sky, and when her head came down, her pupils were dilated. So it was pretty wild.
Yeah.
Poor girl.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
So I got two important questions for you, Mikey.
Yeah.
Did you close the summoning ritual, and was your car okay?
Car, actually, one of my other friends years later wrecked it during a party. So I don't know if that's paranormal related or just inebriated related. I don't know.
Both.
Yeah, maybe a little both. Not that I'm aware of. No. I still think there's activity at this location. I have not been back personally, but I know the other gentleman has, and he's a practitioner, so I'll let him do his thing.
Wow, because I was just curious because you said your car was parked under the tree over the portal. Going, I wonder if anything would happen to the car.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, years later, it did get wrecked, probably 2 years after that. And he actually just commented just now. He said, "No closing."
Wow.
Oh, man.
Well,
Yeah.
probably would have considered closing that.
He's an expert. I'll let him do his thing.
Wow.
Yeah, he's actually a part of a group, Celestial Oddities Paraseekers. Definitely a good group coming up.
Oh, yeah.
That's cool. That's a cool name, too.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's actually we were part of that team,
Yeah,
Sean and I, and then we started Bumping the Night Society. When that team kind of broke up a little bit, but he's got it back together, and he's got a solid group.
He's gonna be joining us when we go to the Octagon House for a weekend in June. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
How many times have you guys been there?
Where?
Octagon House.
We haven't been there yet. This will be our first time. Thing is, though, me and Mikey both actually won a night for free there because we did a charity thing for Greenville Manor, and for the auction, I put in a night. He put in a night. We actually both won, so we actually got a full weekend.
Yeah, we both went all in.
Yeah.
And, we're real good friends with the former owners, and Katie was like, "Are you sure you want to put all your tickets in?" I'm like, "Yeah, I want to win this."
Yeah, I would too. I'm like,
Yeah.
Another investigation we're going on Thursday, Old College Hill Hospital. Our good friend Peggy won, and she invited us to that one, so we're going with her on Thursday.
Yeah, we love Peggy.
Mm-hmm.
She's a sweetheart, total sweetheart.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, she's
If
awesome.
you guys ever run into Peggy Goodell, she's a legend.
Yeah, just give her a big hug. She's amazing.
No one has a bad thing to say about Peggy. Everybody loves Peggy.
Oh yeah, she's cool as hell.
She is.
so who came up with the name Bumpin' the Night Society?
It was me. We actually had a voting though, because we came down to 3 different names when we changed our name or started a new team, and one was Bumping the Night Society, the other one was Goodwill Haunting, which was Mikey.
We should have won.
That was my second choice, honestly.
And then the other one was something Para Addicts or something.
Yeah,
I forget what the other one
something like
was. But we pretty much took it to Instagram to vote, and people voted on Bumping the Night Society.
We had one. I don't remember what it was, but that was my second choice. It was like Apparitional Spiritual Society, just so we could be team ass on the shirts.
I like that. I don't even remember that one, honestly.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
It didn't make the final cut.
Dang it.
Well, Kim Claw has, hoping I'm pronouncing her name right, has an offer for you guys. You guys should come investigate my house. It's busy.
Kim, where are you located at?
That'd be kind of cool.
Yes.
So
We
yeah, we
pretty
probably
much-
should mention you guys are in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, we
Yep.
pretty much stick to Pennsylvania, Ohio, West Virginia, New York, Indiana a little bit. Those are mainly our area we go. I mean, we would travel other places, but that's the main areas we're usually at.
Yeah, logistically, it's kind of hard with full-time jobs and everything.
Yes, I don't know if we're gonna.
Yeah.
Oh man, a little rough.
Flies out there, come out to Idaho.
Idaho is beautiful. So dang it.
We're trying to branch out a little bit.
Actually, our
next
goal
year,
would
though.
be to rent out of Winnebago, and I'll go on a little weekly road trip and just travel to different places.
She says she has a ton of pictures and tons of different types of activity.
Oh man.
Well, actually, Kim, if you were to give that to them, they might create a TikTok video with some history. Because don't you guys also do videos of locations telling the history and the claims?
Yeah, we actually got an invite from Winchester Mystery House. They told us anytime we're out there, we could come in for free because Jen made a TikTok about them. And our biggest video we've ever had was from Brushy Mountain State Penitentiary, which has like 1.5 million views. Me and Jen been there. We did the day tour, but we're trying to get there next year as an actual private.
God, that'd be amazing.
Oh, heck yeah.
I will be.
Sean,
So
you
who
have to
does
fly
the
out to
research?
Winchester.
What's that?
Who does the research for all the videos?
When it comes to like the Appalachian stuff or whatever, Jen does all that stuff. When it comes to locations of the house, that kind of varies. I know Troy's into a lot of the history stuff. He likes that type of stuff. Some places, depending on like what it is, like say we go to a house or say we go to a big prison. Going into a house, we might go in a little bit more blind just because, it's a house and it's a lot smaller. But if you're somewhere massive like Crescent Sanitarium, which is like, God, we've been there 4 times. I think once for a private, 3 times during the day. I still haven't seen everything there. So you got to kind of get the hot spots for something that's that huge,
You're right.
Yeah,
And the thing is with Crescent too, like the one night we were there, it was during a huge blizzard. I think this was like back in like March of last year or something like that. And we cut it, early at like 3:00 a.m. early, but because we had so much interference with the blizzard, like we couldn't do anything. Like you couldn't see like 100 feet in front of you. It was coming down so heavy. We're like, yeah, we'll be fine. The weather will be fine. Nope.
Yeah, the wind was horrible because it's an abandoned prison. So you'd be like, "There's anything here? Can you make a noise?" And like you'd hear, like a tornado coming through, and it's like, "Oh, I don't think that's a spirit. I'm pretty sure that's just the wind."
Beautiful place, though.
Definitely a crazy night.
So, Kim has an interesting question, I think, for you, Sean, because I put the links for you guys in the descriptions, but she wants to know where to send them, and she says she made an album last night.
To send, what are you trying to send?
The photos.
You can send them to my email. It's bumpinthenightsociety@yahoo.com. Or if you just want to message me or something on Facebook or message the group, because you could either message the page or message me personally, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, it'd be cool to check them out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
go ahead.
I was going to say, if you want a team to do a TikTok video promoting your house, this is the team to do it. They make the best entertaining and historical videos I've come across.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, man.
So, Carla and Michael, when you investigate, what kind of locations do you prefer? Like prisons, battlefields? What do you guys like?
I'm excited to hear this.
Why would prisons be the first one you would think of?
I was just gonna say, that's funny. Well,
but so. For me, it's military bases, haunted hotels. I haven't done any battlefields really yet. On a big investigation, I've scouted a few, and I've done a few asylums. Boy, I'm having to think, Carla, where have we been?
Well, we've done hospitals.
True.
We've done hospitals, we've done the bases, we've done hotels, the asylums.
Well, we did do the Gothic jail.
We did what?
The Gothic jail.
Yes.
We did a scouting.
Yeah. We were at Myrtle's Plantation.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, nice.
It is awesome.
That's amazing. You mentioned the word Gothic in that. I was like, ooh.
Matter of fact, I got their shirt on.
Oh, that's so cool. That is awesome.
And then cemeteries.
Yeah.
I love cemeteries. They're like
Carl
so
and I
freaking
are the most fun on road trips because even if we're hosting an event, we will always be late because we will find a cemetery on the side of the road, pull over, go and investigate real quick.
Yeah.
Get back in the car, head on over.
And then we're having to like do this group text saying, we squirreled and we're going to be like an hour late because we passed a cemetery that we couldn't resist. And
is that what you do too, Troy?
I was going to say, Troy, whenever Troy and I drive, we'll start making that little, yeah.
We're hey, let's stop here and get some snacks.
Yeah.
Oh, Buc-ee's is our thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Buc-ee's.
Yeah, I've been to Buc-ee's before.
Wow.
Never heard of Buc-ee's.
Yeah, never heard of Buc-ee's either.
They're building one down in Tennessee too.
Buc-ee's. Oh, you have to go to Buc-ee's. They're awesome.
It's like
Buc-ee's
a
is an
super
experience.
mall type of gas station.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah,
That's
it's
where all
like
our
the
snacks
truck
come
stop
from,
of
all our
all
drinks,
truck stops.
cases of water,
I
everything.
made Jen like drive out of her way to stop at one because we went down to New Orleans and we went through Nashville, went to New Orleans, and I was like, "Oh, there's a Buc-ee's, like we have to go." So we drove like an hour out of the way just to go to
That's
Buc-ee's.
right.
It was worth it, wasn't it, Sean?
It was. She didn't want to stay that long though, so we just got food. We didn't get to check out the whole place, but
Oh.
it was
Yeah.
pretty cool. I'll type it in the comment box here.
Fashionably late. That's how we view it.
We need
Fashionably
to
late.
do.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
we need to do an investigation out of Buc-ee's.
Oh, there you go.
I think one of my favorite
I don't think
investigations
you'd ever
we
have
did
a
was
quiet moment.
No, I don't think so.
Carla. Funny that you mentioned that. We did an investigation in Latrobe at the Tin Lizzy. It was it's like a bar restaurant place while people were still there and everybody was drunk and like we're like what
We
are
were
these guys?
but everybody around us was it?
Oh, no,
Yeah.
it was awesome. We actually had access to the basement in this like back room, and we were actually walking behind the bar, and everybody else is like, "Who the heck are these guys?"
I almost got into a fight with a drunk guy. It was great.
Oh yeah.
Hey man, all the fun ones are before I ever got on.
Yeah.
We can go there again, Troy. It's okay.
Okay.
That's
I
what
mean,
we
Good
obviously it
job.
wasn't
Stay
great
closed.
conditions for an investigation though, because it was just, you had loud music. You can't
Yeah.
really, a lot of noise contamination, unfortunately. But
Didn't
yeah.
Jen like witness or hear like something, like something? Yeah, like in one of the, I think like the second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there was a guy and a girl making out in one of the stalls in the back. Yeah. And then I had some hipster guy trying to fight me. Like,
Yeah,
would have been a bad idea for him, but
Oh my
whatever.
gosh.
Yeah, it was, and I think like a couple of the ladies were rubbing my head. whenever we were
Yeah.
all sitting down, and
Yeah,
gave
their
them-
husband was about to fight you.
Yeah.
and then I tried to give the waitress my number, and and all that stuff.
Bill's always hitting on all the women. That's why we were saying he's a whore earlier.
Yeah.
Okay, now
He got
I
us
had
into the Anchorage Mansion basement because he was flirting with the women.
I had my cougar at Conneaut. Don't
No, you
forget.
did?
that.
Yes, you did,
Yeah.
man.
I
Yes, you
did.
You know what? Whatever line you have to go through just to get what you got to get. So,
All right.
just got to do a little sweet talking. It's like, how you doing?
Do you guys have a favorite piece of equipment or method when you
This is
investigate?
my favorite piece of equipment right here.
The phone?
We definitely do a lot of Estes, that's for sure. Mikey's the king of the,
Yeah.
Oh,
the
yeah.
spirit box, S box over there.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
mine. Estes method.
It is fun to watch, it really is, because I suck at doing it, because I end up spouting out the radio bleed and
Yeah.
Western Financial.
Yeah.
Literally, that was the clearest thing I ever said. But Mikey and Sean and Jen are really good, and Troy's awesome at it too. I'm kind of
Yeah.
Yeah, I just prefer using the spirit box in general. I don't know. I feel like we get pretty good responses. I feel like, especially if the
He
night's
likes
kinda
phone
going
apps. He's
slow.
lying to you.
I hate phone apps. I'll admit some of them,
Yes.
do give relevance, but I just
Especially
don't.
if you have a couple of them or
Yeah.
a couple phones.
Yeah.
having a similar app or even different apps, and they're saying like stuff.
Yeah. I don't know. I just know how, social media and everything can listen to you talking and then give you targeted ads. Like, I don't know. I'm still skeptical, but
Yeah.
I do agree. Sometimes you do get some pretty good relevant stuff.
I did download the Necrophonic app, so Sean will be pretty proud of me.
Could you imagine Facebook
I got that
doing
too.
the ads during the investigation?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. That'd be the funniest thing ever.
Here's a casket sale company for you. Or...
Yeah, I mean, it's scary what happens. I know, like I have a coworker who's really into reality TV, and he'll talk about it like to somebody else at work, and then all of a sudden I'll go into Google and I'll start getting ads for like Big Brother and the challenge, and I'm like, come on.
It's scary, that's for sure.
Oh,
yeah,
Big Brother.
I think what's really going on though is Mikey is secretly watching Big Brother at work.
I mean,
That's true. Don't tell my boss.
How's it make you feel, Mikey, knowing that you still watch it?
I feel great.
As long as it's not The Bachelor or Bachelorette.
Oh god.
Yeah.
At least it ain't scanning Phil's phone because you don't want to see what's in that one.
Yeah.
So what about you, Troy?
I can't really say I like the spirit box. I like the Ovulus. Is that what? Is that the one that Marcus has?
No.
He has a Geoport.
Tom had an Ovulus.
Geoport. Yeah. I do like Marcus's Geoport.
Yeah.
I like trying new different types of equipment. I've been here a year now. I don't have a ton of equipment. It's really expensive. But what I've tried, I've enjoyed. I like the grid light a lot. It gives you something to focus on. I'm not too sure how I feel about like the basic thing, like the rods,
the dowsing rods.
Yeah, I have a hard time.
Skeptical on them.
Yeah, it's like I believe in a lot of this stuff, but I'm also very skeptical at the same time. Even I can even say the spirit box, like there's a lot of times where there's radio bleed in, and you can just tell it's radio. You can just tell it is, and then but then there's those times where it's obviously not the radio. Yeah. So it's just hard because I even go through phases where we'll go on 2 or 3 investigations and everything that's came through on the spirit box for like those 2 or 3 are it seems like radio bleed. It seems like radio bleed, and you start losing that. You start losing that. Okay, is it really? Is it really something, or is it just me? Or, you even start second guessing yourself, and then something will come through again. And it's just like, yeah, there, it's like yeah. And that's what you keep going back for.
I like voice recorders.
I love them.
Those are great.
Yeah.
Those are great.
I do. I actually got a new one. I still got to.
You still don't know how to use it.
Funny story. Talking about scams. No, this really wasn't a scam, but it's like a $200 voice recorder that I got for $100, but the instructions is in Chinese. So, I don't know how to use it.
Is that why you got the discount?
We found, no. Kat found them. She found it online. So I do have them, and I got to get through them. But I've used it once. I haven't really got to check the what we got. We used it at the Greene County Historical Society. I kind of left it as a stationary in the cabin that was adjacent to the building. So I'm anxious to hear that. I'm going to probably check that out this week while I'm on my trip. But so I'm really excited, and I hope that one works better because I just had a basic one before, and I never really got anything from it. So yeah, I want to get a really good EVP.
Mhm.
Yeah, I gotta say though, Troy, if you got spy equipment, they're probably sitting over there reviewing all of your.
Probably.
What secrets are they doing?
We're gonna have investigations, and there's gonna be like these little balloons hovering over.
I was just balloons.
You ever seen that conspiracy where they say like birds ain't real? You're gonna have like birds all falling down.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
Better you
I
than
just
me.
picture they're gonna be like, those Americans are up to project such and such, and be like, what is our investigation?
Up in the night.
Yeah, Troy, I think you got us all on a list, man.
Yeah,
Man. That's
hey,
fantastic.
you know.
So, question for you guys is, I know being a paranormal, investigator, we can't always guarantee you're gonna get something, but in all honesty, we have spots that we know we go to that are pretty much always active. What is some of your favorite spots to go to where you're pretty much guaranteed something's gonna happen?
Mikey.
I mean, I know Sean's probably thinking I'm going to say the Bel Air house.
That's exactly what I was going to think too.
You can't always guarantee because a lot of the times, like you stay there a whole weekend. Like the first night's usually pretty quiet, and then the second night's pretty active. That would be one. But as far as consistency, I mean, Hillview Manor's probably one where you're definitely going to get something when you get there. No matter what. I would say that's probably the most guaranteed activity. I mean, also Greenville Manor. We've never. I honestly, I feel like we've never been shut out in an investigation. We've had some quiet nights before, but I don't think we've ever been completely shut out.
House of Wills was kind of dead.
Dude, we had some. Me and you
did, but like nobody else did in that.
Well, that's all matters. That's a go, you know. But yeah, I would say Hillview Manor is probably one that you're guaranteed to get something.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've only been there once, but we're going back this year for a full weekend. But Monroe House in Indiana was super active.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Kim.
Yeah, I had a interesting going back to when we talk about getting freaked out. We were doing are you familiar with the Monroe House at all in Indiana?
No.
Nope.
They did a paranormal lockdown there with Nick Groff and Kate. I can't remember
Katrina Weidman or whatever.
Katrina Weidman, yeah. And there was a hole in the basement, and they actually went in there in the hole, and they found human remains. They found a bunch of bones and stuff. So they have the hole still there, and you can go in there. So I did an Estes method where I was in there, with the headphones on, and Sean was outside of the hole in the basement asking me questions. And I kept getting a man coming through saying, I'm going to get him. I'm going to grab him. I'm going to get him. And then eventually, it's a dirt floor inside the hole. And there's a really, really crappy carpet that's there. And I felt something rise from underneath the carpet and kind of touch my testicles. So, and it freaked me out. And I that's the one time I actually got freaked out during an investigation. I actually had to go out of the hole and kind of.
Well, there was other stuff that coincided with that too. That wasn't the only thing that happened. Like we had a laser grid in there and it shut off, and then the baby monitor that we were recording him from froze. Like all this happened all at the same time.
My camera shut off too. So unfortunately, I didn't even get it on tape. It just nothing worked.
And then later when we were in the basement, we took holy water down there. We're blessing down there, and Mikey earlier in the night when we were ordering food was laughing and a weird way, just the way he laughs, I guess. But anyway, when we're blessing with the holy water down there, you hear something mocking his laughter come across the spirit box.
Yeah,
so that was kind of creepy.
Oh, wow.
And also I asked, why is this place so active? What brings the energy? And it says at one point it says they dug up God. And one of the theories is that when the house was originally built, there was an artifact on the land, and they removed that artifact to build the house. So we don't know if it coincides with that or potentially the bones that were found in the hole.
Yeah, there's still supposed to be human remains in the yard too that they never dug up.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's kind of interesting because as you're, discussing the possibilities of the god, I'm sitting here thinking probably the guy who was the reason some of these bones are down there called himself God.
Yeah, possibly.
It is down there. It was put down there and got dug up.
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, that's what I like. When I asked you guys what locations you prefer, like battlefields, I like the places that are just regular houses that have a mystery that you need to solve. Like we're the Scooby Doo gang, and we want to go in to these dark locations and interact with these dark, potentially malevolent entities and discover why they're there or what they are. That's what I prefer.
Yeah, I'd have to second Mikey on that. I love the houses too. I feel more at home, I guess would be the right way of putting it.
That makes sense since it's a house.
Yeah, right. Exactly. I feel more comfortable. Not like as in I get like weirded out if I go to bigger places, but like with houses, you don't have to worry about like going too far away or something like that. You're kind of in like a comfort zone a little bit, Yeah. And I don't know, just like the Bel Air house, that was actually one of the locations that I was a little timid at first to go to, and once we actually went there for the weekend, I was like, this place is amazing, and I don't know, I've always been a big fan of like this investigating homes. It's just kind of brings a bit much more of like a charm to it, I guess would be the right way of putting it, like Inspiration House in Oberlin, Ohio. That was one of my favorite places I've ever been to. Amazing. And it was just more of you felt good. I also like the ones that you feel really good whenever you leave. You're like, wow, I feel great. The malevolent places are pretty cool. But whenever you get to a place where like nothing bad's gonna happen, you just feel very like at peace. I like a mixture of both. So
I like the darkness.
I think I like the darker stuff too.
I gotta ask Mikey and Phill, have you ever heard of the Amityville house?
Yes.
Do the house. It's safer. I'm like, I think Amityville might, teeter the other way of.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we actually investigated recently the Hinsdale house and up in New York, and
I was there twice.
They did a structural exorcism on the house itself, and the priest that did it, he wasn't the main priest that did the exorcism at Amityville, but he was like the assistant. I think his name was like Father Francis something. I can't remember the last name, but we actually got to talk to the house itself too. We did a spirit box session, and I congratulated it for surviving the exorcism and asked if we can speak to it, and a female voice came through and said yes. So it was pretty cool. You get to talk to the house and the land itself.
I'm still trying to wrap my head around you saying congratulations for surviving an exorcism.
Yeah, I mean, they actually said when the exorcism happened, there was a speaker against or a microphone against one of the windows. And when they played it back, you could hear someone moaning in agony as the exorcism was being conducted. So the theory is the land itself is what really, is personified in a way. And it was pretty wild.
Well, that's like the second time I was there. Me and Jen went with a couple of friends without the team or whatever. Like we were all invited, but only me and her could make it. And one of the things is there's this closet upstairs in the upstairs bedroom, and there's a mirror in the closet, and you're supposed to be able to see stuff in this mirror all the time. So I kept trying to tell stuff to like come through the mirror, and I took 2 different pictures, and in the one it looks like a vampire, and the other one this thing with a mohawk with like glowing eyes that we got in the mirror. So that was kind of cool.
Wow.
It's okay, Kim. I forgive you. I haven't bothered checking out my phone yet, so.
So, Sean, I think what you're describing is a psychomanium.
Okay.
Never heard of that.
So, psychomanium is a room to where you pretty much kind of can sit in a chair or stand, and there's a mirror in front of you.
Yeah, there was. I was sitting in the chair in the closet, the mirror in front of me.
And the premise of it is some say you're supposed to be able to see your future or your past. Or,
so kind of like scrying or something, I guess.
kind of.
Okay.
But I always figure you're going to see spirits or whoever's coming through. So, yeah. So it sounds like Hinsdale House has a psychomanium in it.
Well, that's like we were in the bedroom first, and there was a mirror in the bedroom. And this was like with the whole group of us. And I was trying to get something to come through the mirror. And I kept having, people watch the mirror, camera on the mirror. But then when I went in the closet by myself and, it was complete darkness, and I just took a couple pictures, more than a couple, but in two of them, like I said, you could see the face. The one reminded me of a vampire, and the other one looked like something with a mohawk with glowing eyes. So it was kind of cool.
So our friend Amy Lewis has a question for you guys. She says, are you guys familiar with the ghost of Carmel, Maine?
Yep, there's a YouTube channel.
I've never heard of it.
Gentleman actually has a YouTube channel called The Ghost of Carmel, Maine, and he actually records his findings in his very own home. And doesn't get scared that much because it's such a reoccurring theme. So it's pretty awesome to hear about that.
I might have to go check that out.
Heck yeah.
Have you guys ever went to a location, the same location repeatedly because it was starting to like tell a story and you kept wanting to go back to get more and more?
I'd say probably Bel Air for you, Mikey, because you definitely seem like you're obsessed with that place.
Well, I mean, like our first, Sean's first visit there, there was a possession that happened, and it involved a little girl named Emily, who's one of the house spirits there, and there's theories that she's demonic or a negative. She's definitely a negative entity, and she always appears as a little girl. And then also as a separate entity, as a grown man. And when we came, when I like we all went as a group in our old group the second time, we actually made a documentary about it on our YouTube page. It's Possessed and Oppressed in a town called Bel Air. We got a lot of activity from Emily. We got at one point we're in the basement, and Sean. We couldn't remember the history. And Sean's like, isn't Emily the mother of the Hetheringtons, which was the people that built the house? Mm-hmm. And I said, no, Emily was, and I couldn't remember. And a voice just showed up on my camera. There's no equipment on besides the camera. And it says, I'm Emily, in a male voice tone. And just based on the evidence that we got there, it kind of seemed, I had two theories at the end where, we have the little girl and the male entity, and we kept getting like a lot of sexual stuff there. At one point, we had a spirit box session, and a little girl came through and said basement, and I said, "What happened to you in the basement?" And she said, "Bad person." And I said, "Who's the bad person?" And the male voice, same voice tone as the "I'm Emily," came through and said, "I am." We had a couple other things that happened, so I kind of came up with two theories where. Maybe the little girl suffered from dissociative identity disorder, where when you have a traumatic event as a child, you can develop an alternate personality to cope with the trauma. And when she passed away, the little girl came back, but also the alternate personality came back, and it may have been the person that possibly abused her.
Right.
And that's why you see both entities. And then the other one was we got a demonic prince come through in one of the rooms, and it was one that's commonly associated with child sacrifice. So another theory is that she was sacrificed. Maybe there were pagans in the area, which coincided with some of the history that was reported. And she goes back to comes in, steals people's energy, and goes back through the portals to this demonic prince's lair, and brings that energy to him.
Well, something that ties in with that too is the house that was next door. They tore down because supposedly the guy was doing stuff with children in it.
Yeah. So there's
kind of
a lot of weird stuff there.
Dang.
To point out an interesting thing is the old days names were so different than today. To where, like, when we're doing investigations, if somebody was to say Emily, it's like 9 times out of 10, you got a female. Mm-hmm. But nowadays, if you go and you go, Shannon, you're like, yeah. So Shannon, are you a dude? Or like
Taylor?
Yeah.
Our names are no longer.
Like Kelly, Ashley, those can be considered male names.
Yeah. Yeah.
Garrett coming through.
Yeah, I saw that.
That was the name of the demonic prince that came through.
Oh yeah, you could have told me that before. I just blasted it out.
That's
what we try to do at these locations. We try to expand on the history of the location based on our investigations, and that's why I always prefer the places that have a little mystery. Because we go to asylums, we go to prisons, and it's cool because you get to interact with patients, you get to interact with the wards, you get to interact with the prison guards and the prisoners. But I want to interact with the stuff that you don't know what it is.
Right.
Try to figure it out.
And that's one of the cool things about being paranormal investigators is when people ask, like, where do we go hang out? We can say jails and asylums.
Yeah.
But they let us out, and it's like conversations can either keep going or they will just turn around and walk away and be like, why did I even approach this person?
No, I always hate it. Like when I'm going somewhere and like I'm like, someone asks, "Oh, what are you doing?" Like I'm at like a Dollar General, and the person asked me, "Oh, what are you doing with this flashlight that you're buying?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm going on a paranormal investigation. I needed a new flashlight." Then it leads to a 40-minute conversation.
Yeah, exactly.
I gotta go.
Yep.
Yeah,
we film our TikTok lives from Dollar Tree too.
Yeah, we did have that one.
That's what I'm telling you, Mikey. You just say, "I'm going to a jail with the flashlight."
Yeah,
that'll that'll end that conversation.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is too, like every time you talk to somebody, they always have something. They always have a story to tell you, even if you don't think they do. They always do.
Yeah.
I ran into my friend Sarah. She bartends at a bar about 20 minutes up the road from me. She works in Target, and I told her about I'm a part of a team. We go to different haunted locations. She's like, "Oh my god, I got to tell you about my house." Well, I'm like, "Where'd this come from?" It helps.
I got stuck once at Dollar General talking to a guy about aliens just because I told him I was buying the flashlight to go to the Hinsdale house. And I'm like, I gotta go home. I got a toddler. Like I gotta.
We had Phill and I had a good one at a dollar store too.
Oh, that was an interesting one, man. Tell them about that.
Yeah, that was.
I think the cashier admitted that she was an active drug user just because it apparently helps her.
Yeah, and she just gotten out of prison, and she was. It was. Yeah, we're both like, okay, yeah, sure.
And we're both chatty Cathys for one, so we can keep it going. And it's just like, oh crap, this is cool, but this
is why you're late to every investigation. Then you just talk to some randos.
I mean,
we're two nice people. No,
being an Aries does that to you. So
Phil's usually early to everything, though.
It depends.
Unless he rides with me.
Yeah.
And we have fun on the road trips. I'm a fun.
We do. We have a blast on road trips.
Actually, like whenever Sean and I, whenever we first started, doing these things, we were on the road for what? How many hours? A couple of hours here and there. But we would just talk nonstop.
Yeah.
It's great. I don't.
We love going on road trips with our team. I mean,
it is fun.
It's so much fun.
Yeah.
It's definitely different from going with Jen because she'll just blast the music and ignore me the whole time. So at least with Phill, I have somebody to talk to.
I can't hear you.
It makes the time go faster. Crazy. It does.
It does.
Yeah.
Drive crazy.
So Irene is a friend of ours from Japan, and she likes to tease me all the time because I don't like dolls that are haunted. I'm like, nope, I won't stay in a room with a haunted doll. I don't collect them. So she likes to poke fun at me all the time about, oh, he loves haunted dolls.
Sean likes holding cursed dolls.
Yeah. The Inspiration House, I held some doll that was supposed to be cursed, and we actually got like an EVP or whatever. I don't remember Mikey, what did it say?
I think I asked if the doll that Sean's holding is cursed. And I can't remember what it said, but it responded intelligently, kind of indicating, it is.
Wow.
Yep, me and Mikey are probably the more ballsy of the group, I'd say, when it comes to that type of stuff.
And sometimes, literally, when you're in the hole at Monroe House, you get
we'll poke
ballsy.
the bear a little bit.
You get ballsy, they get ballsy.
Yeah. So we're actually a little over our hour. Are you guys needing to get up in the morning?
I gotta get up at 5 a.m.
7:30 for me. Not too bad.
I'm not even going to ask what just happened to Troy.
Yeah, I don't know.
My cat was on my lap and she just decided to leap, and it she hit the computer. So
I'm surprised. My cat's been good. I don't know where she went.
Oh.
she was good until she jumped.
She's gonna sneak up behind you with a little knife, Mikey.
Yeah. As long as it's on camera, that's all that matters.
Yes, absolutely.
It'll be the second the camera turns off, just like every paranormal investigation.
Yep.
No.
There's always like some like level of like technical issue, like, but that's what makes it fun too, I mean, I love realisticness, things ain't always going to go smooth, but as long as you can just make it fun, I mean.
No, for sure.
Oh yeah. I mean, hey, why not?
Sucks when you're putting the documentaries together though, and the camera goes out.
I could never do that. I don't know how you get the patience to do that, man. That would drive me crazy because I stare at computer screens all day, and that's
You're that, or the mic isn't on or something.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Yeah, no, that's the worst when you forget to turn the mic on, especially when you get some really cool stuff too, and you're like,
That or you're like at the end going, "This was great," and none of it recorded.
Yep.
No,
I'm getting better at it. I've had it happen. Like we at the House of Wills, we had some pretty cool stuff in the incinerary area in the Microsoft the whole time, and I'm like, oh man. But I'm getting better.
Better you than me, man, because I don't know what the heck I'd be doing. I have no expertise in that whatsoever.
If you guys got to get up in the morning, we can wrap it up here, or if you guys want to keep going, I don't want to keep you guys up.
I'm fine either way. I mean, I got to get up, but I got a toddler, so I operate on zero sleep anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, my sleep schedule sucks half the time anymore. So
I'm actually off Thursday and Friday since we're going to College Hill, so I just got to work tomorrow. But then I'll be
rub it in, Sean. Rub it
in. You guys could have came.
So, Carla and Michael, what are some of your dream locations to investigate?
Oh wow, we just did an episode last year on that. Yeah, let me think.
I think it was our Christmas show.
Oh, that's good.
Let's see.
Allegheny. How do you say it?
Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum.
I would love to go do
Plug it, Mikey.
Yeah, we did a documentary. That was actually the first documentary we did. It's Discombobulated in the Dark on our YouTube page. But yeah, it's a very active place. Very, very cool. It's very expensive though.
That's what I hear.
Yeah, I think it was like.
And then it's hard to get into.
They
hard
let
to get in, really. Yeah.
No, it's just really expensive, and you
I mean,
only
like booking wise, you're like out of ways.
Oh yeah,
probably yeah. But they have the main building, and then they also the Kirkbride building. Then they also have the hospital or the morgue or something. Two different locations you can investigate.
Can you get privates at the morgue? Because I thought we only had the Kirkbride building. I didn't think you.
No, they're open. Both of them are open now. But
of course,
they're two separate things.
We're not going there.
You can't get it as one thing. I think you have to either book the medical or if you have to book the Kirkbride.
The St. Augustine Lighthouse would be great.
I would love to go there.
Yeah.
One that was on both Carla's and my list was the Winchester Mansion.
Yeah.
That's where I want to go.
Yeah.
What do you think of that place?
What do I think of that place?
Any of it?
I mean, I've always wanted to go. I think just like exploring in general makes it really cool because there's so many different rooms and you could get lost or whatever. Like I just even like non-paranormal wise.
Oh, for sure.
I've done like urban exploring type stuff when I was younger, going into abandoned buildings and just checking stuff out. I actually used to work for my one baseball coach and we'd go in and like, winterize houses and stuff like that. All the abandoned sheriff sales houses, just like exploring that type of stuff's cool in general to me.
Yeah.
I want to check out the Warren Museum. That would be one of my dream locations.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That'd be really cool.
I personally like the prisons, the larger places. Like I like the houses too, but for me, I like the larger places just because you have different architecture, you have different like you see different things that you don't always see every day. So you know, just in the structure of the buildings and things, not necessarily even the ghost side of it. It's just a really neat to experience those different places. And you know, just like Sean said, I do like to look at the history a little bit, because I mean, a lot of those places have a lot of history in them, you know, you know, some of the people that were there and what they were there for. And, you know, that's kind of cool, you know, to be standing in this cell where this person was at. And this is pretty cool, you know? So I enjoy those aspects too. If we get a ghost, that's just the icing on the cake. But just the whole experience is.
Have you guys heard of the Yuma prison?
No.
YUMA or something, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
It's on my list because there's no like fencing around it, because it's out in the desert, and they're like, yeah, if you want to leave, go ahead. You're gonna die before you get to the river or the city, so you know, no sweat off our back. But there were men and women there, and they have solitary rooms, and it's like basically an adobe looking prison in the middle of the desert.
That's crazy. Wild. Oh my gosh.
So if we were to come down to Texas, what place should we investigate then? Or what's like your best known place?
Oh my gosh. There's a list.
I heard that place is big when it comes to different locations.
You said big very creepily, Phill.
I did.
I can only think of one place I'd want to investigate in Texas. It would be the grassy knoll and the book depository, because I want to solve what happened to JFK.
Yeah.
So funny story about that, because I live like maybe 20 minutes from that. They have concreted over the sewer accesses, and a lot of the like spots where you would think would be good places to look at have either been torn down or constructed over. So it's like Dallas is kind of like trying to go like, yeah, nothing really happened here.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I think isn't the book depository, isn't it now just a JFK museum?
It is.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah.
So I actually lived in Arlington for 14 years, so I kind of know your stomping grounds a little bit.
Nice.
A little bit.
Yeah, and the one thing that's really funny though is, you know how they usually put markers for where stuff happens? There's a white X in the middle of the roads that marks where the shot happened.
Yeah.
Like, the signs are off to the side, but it's like someone decided we're gonna paint the road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the spot I want to go to.
I've actually investigated there. It's kind of eerily creepy.
Yeah.
But it's hard to do too because it's so well lit up.
Yeah.
Even at night, it's like they have a little memorial park next to it that keeps it well lit.
And tons of traffic.
Oh.
Yeah. You're constantly bobbing cars because it is downtown.
Well, they'll have to shut down the roads if Bumping the Night Society gets down.
My favorite part when we went there was all the street people trying to sell you the maps and the little like history brochures.
Yeah.
They're like, here, you want one of these? You want one of these?
Yeah.
I love the warm locations where I'm not freezing my butt off.
What's that? We haven't been to one.
I know.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we've been any March investigation has been pretty brutal.
I
think the worst was the Grand Midway in Windber, like the church that's right next to it. Like you were, I'm the biggest wuss when it comes to cold weather. Mikey, it doesn't affect him much because he gets really amped up. Me, I'm just like,
I agree with that.
But yeah, I hate being cold. It sucks, but sometimes you have to make some sacrifices.
Sean and I were pretty frigid at Fairfield.
Yeah.
I feel like
we have the opposite because around the July, August time frame,
I can only imagine.
Like nobody investigate anything that doesn't have air conditioning in it.
Oh man,
yeah. I feel impervious to like the cold and heat though. When we're in investigation mode, like I'm ready. Like we investigated Dar Mine, which is a mining accident that happened in Pennsylvania, and it was freezing cold.
Yeah, there was snow on the ground or whatever.
But I had my coat unzipped. Like I'm just like I'm good. I'm ready to go.
I was hiking up in the woods by myself.
Those little neck fans. Have you seen them?
Yeah,
yeah.
You can wear into the buildings that are hot.
I found they help a little bit, but then you have totally toasted all your EVP work.
If you're doing it.
All you'll hear.
I wouldn't have it on if I was doing EVP work.
That's so funny.
No, but we were discussing on one of our episodes with a friend of ours. Why are there never any beaches haunted?
Right? That would be perfect.
I mean, I'm sure there would be some. Like I would imagine, like Normandy, if you would go there, you would definitely get some activity. Yeah. It's just I don't know who's going to go to Germany and go to the beach there, but I'm sure there would be some residual.
I would even think maybe like where some of the hurricanes have hit and stuff too.
Yeah,
but Mikey, I hate to break it to you, but Normandy's in France, not Germany.
Well, I'm stupid. What do you want?
And secondly, I have a friend that goes to Normandy on the anniversary of D-Day all the time.
Yeah,
and you actually have to have almost a guide map to walk that beach. Because all the mines are still there and still active. They haven't dug them all up. Oh, wow. And France asked Germany for the map of the mines so they could get them up. And Germany's answer was, we destroyed that map, so we can't tell you. Sorry.
Oh, jeez.
Like, how do you plant mines somewhere and then not, like, after it's over, go, by the way, if you want to make your beach safe, here you go.
That's just mean.
Yeah, maybe investigate Normandy then.
Well, what is it? Ain't it the Philippines that has all those like mines that never went off or something? I think it was the Philippines.
It might be.
I saw on Facebook they found a mortar that never went off, or maybe not a mortar, some kind of explosive at Gettysburg that never activated.
Oh wow!
And the scary part is, it would still go off if you were to ding it just right.
Yeah, that was a couple of weeks ago. They posted it on Facebook, a picture of it.
I know what I'm doing.
Getting blown up.
Gettysburg sure too.
Hit it once and run like hell.
I don't think that's gonna work for you, Phil.
Not at all. Not at all.
It'll probably be more like, yep, Phil thought he could outrun that one.
Yeah. Make sure we're recording before you do this, Phil.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Jen will put some like music to it or something. We'll make a funny TikTok out of it.
Slow motion. Old guys trying to outrun explosions.
Yeah. Don't worry, Phil. We'll talk to you afterwards.
One of those. What was the
spirit box out?
What was the comedian that used to smash all the fruit and it would go splash?
Gallagher.
Yes.
Yeah, Gallagher. So have like Gallagher and then have him hit the watermelon and just have like Phil being splattered all over.
Have you all ever seen it was a comic show series back in the 60s, Hogan's Heroes?
Yes.
Yes.
Remember the episode where the bomb is in the yard and Hogan's just like randomly just tossing things around and Kid comes up and says, "That's a real bomb," and he goes, "You just took all the fun out of it."
That was a good show, man. I loved watching that. Hogan's Heroes.
Yeah, man. I could just see Phil being that one, just sitting there, just randomly tossing things out. Like, that's not a dud, Phil. You guys just took all the fun out of this.
It's a story to tell a girl dating. So, hey, baby. I want to tell you what I did.
Giddy.
Yeah, right. Did you say, what'd you say, Troy?
Giddy.
Oh, that's funny.
So who runs the social media for you guys? Because you guys are like everywhere.
TikTok's mostly Jen, but everything else is pretty much a combination of us. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter we have kind of been slow on Twitter, but yeah.
We try on Twitter.
YouTube's mostly probably me and Mikey. Jen will post some like short clips on there sometimes too. But I mean, it's a team effort for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was like, when I was listing the links, I was like, oh my God, is there anywhere you guys aren't?
We used to have
MySpace.
MySpace.
Phil, that's your job.
I don't do MySpace. No.
Yeah, Mikey used to write articles for WordPress too, but he's been slacking.
Well, it's either make documentaries or write articles. So it's either one or the other. I can't do it all.
Excuses.
Slacker.
Wow, man. You'd think you have a kid or something.
Yeah, I know. And the full-time job just keeps getting in the way too, you know?
Hey.
If we didn't have jobs, it'd be so much better.
Yeah, let's be honest. If we didn't have jobs, we would still not have as much time to do all the stuff.
Yeah.
With all the investigations and stuff.
Just wouldn't have money to do it.
Oh, yeah. It's funny how you mentioned that, Mikey, because like I've spent so much freaking money doing this stuff. It's ridiculous. I get paid pretty decent where I work at. I mean, nothing like, oh my God, I'm rich, but I can live comfortably. But it's bills don't disappear at all. Ever.
Yeah, I think the more money you make, the more bills you get. So
so I got to be very careful. Can't do every single thing that's offered to us. I'm like, I got to have my priorities set.
Ghost hunting is an expensive habit. So
yeah,
yes, it is.
That's one of the reasons why, like, I don't really buy the equipment because I don't know.
Is that the reason, Phil?
Is that the reason?
I don't believe that for 1 second, Phil.
What's that?
That's not the reason. You don't know how to use it. That's why.
Oh yeah, and of course, it's like, well, the money I could spend on equipment could also be spent on rent.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, the best piece of equipment's yourself and your senses.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
Because when you think about it, you don't need a whole bunch.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I just carry around, whatever I can fit in my fanny pack, and the camera stuff's in my backpack, and that's really all you need.
Exactly. Yeah, I do have to be frugal because I don't know. I spend more money than I probably should, but thankfully I live on my own and no kids that I know of. So always
that I know of.
I just throw that out there. But yeah, I don't. And Sean is right. I'm not the most techie guy. Actually, I'm not a techie guy whatsoever. That's why I usually stick with my phone. I admit I'm not. Everybody has their strengths and their weaknesses. My strength is talking to people and interaction with them and all that stuff, and and just
sniffling,
just being my silly weird self. And so I'm happy about that.
Yeah,
that's what's so good about having a team of diverse specialties. Like everybody just has their thing. I'm not a techie guy at all. I couldn't put like a video together to save my life, but I'm okay with that. Because I'd rather somebody who knows what they're doing do it than somebody who's screwing something up, which could do something else that they're good at. So
one of our viewers here, Catherine, she's our video expert extraordinaire.
Yeah.
And she also is deeply into horror.
Oh, that is awesome. I love talking horror with people. I really do. It's just one of my, that's the thing I always like to tell people, I love this stuff, but I love like everything, horror, concerts, I love spreading the love out a little bit too. Like I'm trying to get back into things that I have been missing out on. Like Boy and I will go to concerts and all that stuff too. It's nice to kind of have an even balance of stuff too. I like that, just kind of get the love out a little bit. Really, really cool. So anybody who's like really into like metal music or horror films, I'm like, oh, tell me more.
So we're gonna be wrapping this up because it's approaching an hour and a half over time frame. So I know you guys touched on a couple things coming up, but or bumping the society bumping the night society.
Come on, Mike, you used to be cool, man. What the hell, bro?
We have, like I said, College Hills this week, Thursday into Friday. We'll be doing a live investigation from there. We actually have a camera guy that actually used to work for one of the channel news channels around in Pittsburgh. So he's really good. He knows what he's doing. If you guys want to come check that out, that'll be on our Facebook. We'll also be TikTok Live. Next weekend, we're at ParasiteCon, which is in Mansfield, Ohio. There's like 90 vendors there. Ghost Brothers are there. Dave Schrader, a lot of big guests. This is our third year doing it. Fourth year it's been going on. Then I think our next investigation, well, we have Hillview Convention, the Psychic Fair June 3rd, and then we have Octagon House in mid-June. So those are like the next couple of things. We have stuff booked all the way through October, but I'm not going to run through all that.
No, it's called a cliffhanger. Keep people interested. You gotta keep watching the channels to keep up.
Yeah, and we're probably going to be dropping a documentary within the next couple months. Like I said, full-time jobs kind of getting away. So, we got a couple, actually 2 in the works. So hopefully we can get both of them released this year on our YouTube
and like
page.
I was kind of touching on, we have two camera guys now, like professional camera guys. So hopefully a lot of our stuff's going to be a lot more professional looking. We did release one of our videos in the movie theater here locally in Pittsburgh. And as long as our quality is good enough, we plan on doing that probably, I'd say quarterly throughout the year. And we're going to probably put some bands together because I used to do music. I used to rap. So I know a lot of people in music, and we're going to probably have a couple bands open up, do the paranormal, documentary at the end, and try to make it like an ongoing thing.
Oh, that'd be excellent. Gosh.
Thanks.
Yeah, you gonna be streaming this live?
Yeah.
So the rest of us can watch them.
Oh, for that, I don't know yet. Maybe the band's in that. I don't know if we'll do for the documentary because we want you to come out and watch the documentary.
Well, we don't live in Pennsylvania.
Well, it'll be on YouTube as well.
Yeah, it'll be released on YouTube eventually, like after. But yeah.
Oh, like that's nice if I was, in Pennsylvania, but
well, you gotta fly up.
Yeah, man. Come down anytime.
Come up.
Or come up around. Yeah, you guys are southwest.
We just have Phill for his looks, if you haven't noticed.
Gets the job done.
Actually, it's Ghost Geek's friend of ours, Chad. He's a pilot, so he's like, that's why it says,
Oh,
let's
there you
fly,
go.
Mike.
You guys fly up, and we will let you in.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah, man. I do want to go down to Texas because with what I do for a living, I work for a life-saving device company, and I work with a lot of liaisons down in Texas, San Antonio, New Braunfels, Austin, Texas, Tyler, Victoria, all that stuff too. So I know a lot about that location.
Nice.
Just to talk with people who are, live down there too, and I always have to be very mindful because being born in Pennsylvania, I have a habit of talking a little too fast. And whenever I'm talking with people who live in Texas, they have a very relaxed, speaking. I'm like, Phill, don't. Yeah, it's like, don't try to, over talk them. Give them a chance to, So it's like, crap, Phill,
Hey, at least you don't have to talk to people from Saudi Arabia and Japan like I do.
Yeah.
I actually do have a list on my phone here. I could run off what's going on actually if you want. We got College Hill in May, ParasiteCon, like I said, that's at Mansfield, Psychic Fair in Hillview, Octagon House for 2 days. Then we're at Gettysburg Battlefield Bash. It's a convention. HillCon, which is in Hillview, ISS convention, which is actually really cool because I don't know if you know who Adam Kimmel is, but he owns a bunch of properties up in our area. He's doing this big convention with content creators, YouTube people, bunch of known people. We're all going to be there. Thursday night, we get a private, get to film everything on our own. Friday, we film with the public. You can come out ghost hunt with us. Same with Saturday. And there's also a convention Saturday. So that should be a really cool event, big event. We're staying in the mansion there, like all the teams throughout the weekend. So that's kind of cool. Then we have Sleepy Hollow Convention, which is in New York. That's in September. Me and my wife spoke at that last year. We'll probably speak again. And then the September 22nd, 23rd, half the team's going to be at Hearst Mania, which is actually at Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum. And the other half is at Wildwood Sanitarium, which we've investigated. That's for a suicide prevention charity. Then we have MadCon in September and then Monroe House in October. And that's what we have booked so far.
The wallet is going to really hurt.
Well, so hopefully some of these conventions we make some money. So
I got to start working corner jobs again. I didn't want to do that, but I have to. I mean, it's
which actually Troy's husband actually owns a hearse. So for Hearse Mania, like he actually have a hearse there, which is cool.
It's the most gorgeous hearse ever, man. We actually went to a concert driving in that hearse, and a buddy of mine and I were sitting in the back, and we had to kind of lie down because we didn't want the actual security guards to see us. And it was the first time ever a hearse like that came to an Oreo Speedwagon in a stick show. It was fantastic. It was great. Free game, and we had like I think like Sean brought his like skeleton or whatever. Yeah, dude, that was amazing. That was probably one of the best shows ever too.
That was a good show.
Oh yeah, loved it, man. Sorry, I wanted to say that.
And then there was
awkward silence.
Oh, that was fantastic.
For a minute there, you were all really still, and I was like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, I thought
it froze or something.
Oh my god, that was so funny. Oh, that was
we all just wanted to make sure Phill was done with that story.
Yeah.
You got me there, man. Used to be cool, dude. It's okay, man. It's all right.
Well, it was awesome having you guys on.
Oh,
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having
me.
Enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Enjoyed it a lot.
Good time.
It's fantastic. Hopefully, we get to do this again because you guys are fantastic.
Yes.
So.
Sure.
We'd love to have you guys back on.
Yeah,
Definitely.
we're cool. We're hip.
Again, Phill, when you say it, you're not it.
Yeah.
It was kind of funny because when Phill said that, I was like, so then we're it by association?
I was being silly.
Oh.
We love you.
Oh,
Phil.
let's see.
Yeah, I know. I love you guys too. Even the guy in the middle, Sean.
You're lucky I can't cuss, Phill.
Sean, we all know how you are, man. It's okay.
Yeah, we never said you couldn't.
That's true.
That's true.
I actually have only said hell a couple of times during this whole
All right, since you haven't hit your quota, fuck you, Phil.
There it is.
There goes a rating.
There it is.
Hey, we're still a PG-13.
Yeah, technically, like, you know what? And that's funny how Mikey mentioned it because I've seen movies that like have a lot of like coarse language. And I'm like, this should be rated R. It's rated PG-13.
Yeah.
MPAA is the most unusual rating system ever. They allow certain things to like be more. It's just odd.
No one's got naked yet either.
I mean,
Yeah,
Me and Phill usually do the podcast naked.
that's very true.
Naked and scared.
Oh my God.
Lord.
Oh, that's so funny.
Is it really paranormal though if you're naked?
I don't know. Do you think ghosts ever, are naked?
I mean, how would you know? I mean,
I know. It's like,
We're gonna do a Naked and Afraid Paranormal Edition.
Yep.
you zoom in on an image, like you see that little.
Oh, that's not a ghost.
It must be cold where you are.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
It's always cold in Pennsylvania. That's what I use.
These two little hands just like covering the area of it's like you just got it red-handed.
You only need one hand, Phil. Like just
Come
maybe
on,
like
Phil.
a pinky.
You need your pinky finger, yeah.
Yeah, there we
Oh my
go.
God.
it's funny when we say like, a lot of people have the belief of whatever you die in is what you'll, come back as a ghost in. And just thinking about, if you were running out, like, because you were somewhere you weren't supposed to be and you don't have anything on and you get killed, it's like, man,
Yeah. Well, Elvis died on the toilet, so
Yeah.
That's very true, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just hope he doesn't come back as a ghost like that, be like, or if he does, be like, can the toilet come with you?
yeah.
Yeah,
Dying in the shower.
Oh, yeah.
That would stink so bad.
Yep.
Would it stink though? Because
You just got
underwater,
Yeah.
I think the Elvis situation would smell worse.
Yeah.
I smell a demon.
Yeah,
Speaking of, did you guys ever see that Saturday Night Live skit with Hugh Laurie,
Yeah.
Oh no, I love you, Lori.
where he's apparently he's a psychic and they're in this room, and he's like, "Oh, I hear a voice," and then he lets one out,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Oh, let's rewind the footage. Let's listen to it in slow motion.
Yeah.
I think it's demonic."
I was releasing some demons at the Hinsdale house. I'll tell you that much.
Oh,
You're always releasing demons everywhere you go.
I know.
Yeah, you cleared the room out.
It was the demons, man. It wasn't me. It was just, get that sulfur smell.
That's okay. My snoring got you back.
That's
Dude, that was brutal.
I literally thought that was Mikey snoring. I didn't realize that was Troy because I'm in because we rented an Airbnb in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and I was sitting on the couch, and I've never heard snoring that loud. Didn't bother me or anything because my dad used to do that a lot. Then it turns out it was Troy.
Yeah, we were at Bell Mansion for a convention, and the second night, Sean, Jen, and I went back and investigated with a couple of teams, and then I came back. It was 2:00 in the morning, and Troy's just like, "Raw!" in his sleep, and I'm like, I can't deal with this. I went in the living room and slept on the couch. I couldn't do it.
What about Phill farting on the porch at Inspiration House?
What about Phill farting before going into court at the church at Grand Midway?
Oh yeah,
he was such a jag. He farted. He didn't fart outside. He went into the car and then farted.
Yeah, baby. No, the best was actually I went over to Sean and Jen's house. We were about to head on a trip, and I was sitting on the couch, and Jen was like, "Did you fart?" She's like, "Don't fart on my couch." So I locked eyes with her, and then I farted on the couch, and it was one of the most glorious moments of my entire life.
So this is what your podcast has become.
Yes.
Kept us on a little too long there.
Yeah, sorry. Apologies, not really.
No, it's all good. So, you have any other questions, Carla?
No, I think I'm good.
Awesome.
Loved having you guys on. Very entertaining.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us. Appreciate it.
It was fantastic.
Absolutely.
And I gotta say, this was cool having your guys's Facebook and YouTube coming through. I didn't know how that would work, so that was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
So we have to do this again and have the girls on.
Yes.
Yes.
See who's better, the boys or the girls?
Good luck with that, though.
Yeah.
I mean, who's here? Come on.
We'll be like Bumping the Night Society, the other half.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool. Yeah.
No, but thank you guys for coming, and thank you to everyone in the chat group. So we are going to be calling it because everyone's got to get up in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
I can see it now.
And you got that motor mouth Phill that wouldn't stop talking. So
it's only like what 10:30 where you guys are at, or you guys are Central Time, right?
Yep, we're Central Time.
Yeah, we're Central.
Yeah, it's like almost midnight here.
I got to get up in 5 hours. Yeah.
Oh.
yeah, you'll be fine.
You'll sleep it off.
Yeah.
Hopefully not when you're operating heavy machinery.
Oh man, thank you so much again, guys. It was an honor being here.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Guys, have a good night.
Thanks, you too.
Stay in touch.
Yeah,
Yes,
definitely.
always. Thank you.
And so next week, who is our guest?
Tracy Mays.
So stay tuned for that one. You guys we're gonna have a lot of fun with that one. And without further ado, my cousin's little contribution, I had to think of the word, to our show. So I will let him send us out.
You have just listened to the energy that surrounds us with your hosts, Michael Koff and Carla Norris. Be sure to tune in next week for our next episode.
Troy left.
Nope.